2 times.
Raiders! Turn on a flashlight, flip a light switch, strike a match, just light something on fire. Welcome to Murf's Fan Cave from the Dago Dungeon. Join me, Uncle Mosh, as we join Raiders Fan Radio, taking a lighter journey into the dark side.
Okay, we're back. Look left, look right, Bolitnikov, a leaking pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.
Intercepted by Khalil Mack. Touchdown! Raiders!
The Oakland Raiders have scored on the most seamless, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play. Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your old buddy Murf back once again for another fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Man, I'm fired up for this one. We're going to have a great time tonight. Got a lot of cool things to get to. We got a great interview with a current Raiders player, second-round pick, number 56 overall, safety Obi Melifonwu. Had a blast getting a chance to catch up with him, and so that was great. But I'm really excited because not only that, I get a chance to talk to one of the Raiders this week, which is always fun, but I'm even more excited that I get to welcome in person back into Murf's Fan Cave. Give it up for Uncle Mosh.
Yeah! Oh, wait, I'm on camera. They can see me clapping for myself.
Hold on. Keep clapping, then I'll switch you over. There you go. Now they see you.
Yeah!
Welcome back, Uncle Mosh.
Oh, man, it's so good to be back in the co-host chair.
Yeah. It's good to have you, man.
Most uncomfortable furniture in a
never liked my furniture.
Never. I like the color.
Like the color. Yeah. Yeah, you've never liked my furniture. I've had some of the best Walmart has had to offer over the years, and you've never liked it.
Yeah, you and Elvis.
Just give me the best you got. Give me the best particle board futon you got.
You walked into Kmart and said, I want the best of everything you got.
Well, Uncle Mosh, it's good to have you here.
Oh, man, it's good to be back.
It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. We got a lot of things to get to, things I've been saving up for the next time that we had you back into the I want to call it the Dago Dungeon. So it's the Dago Dungeon, it's Murf's Fan Cave. So
it's all part of the same complex.
It's all the same thing.
It's like a mall.
It's like
the Raiders Fan Radio Mall.
It's like the fan court in here. Let's get a Sbarro and talk about the Raiders.
Oh, Sbarro would be good right now.
All right, so here's what's up, right? So if you missed it last week, we had to rebrand a little bit. And the reason why was that we needed to get the word Raiders kind of out of what we did. Not that we won't stop being Raiders Fan Radio, nor refer to the show as Raiders Fan Radio. But as far as print goes and on screen, which we're now broadcasting on YouTube Live, by the way.
Yeah, there you have it.
Since we're doing this, we needed to get the word Raiders out in order to make sure that we didn't infringe on any copyrights.
Absolutely. We don't want to break too many rules.
Don't want to do anything like that. No, not at all. And so, but what that also did was that by calling it Murf's Fan Cave as the umbrella, it opened it up for us to do a lot of other things. So we're going to have Raiders Fan Radio will be the flagship show. This is definitely my focus, our focus.
Absolutely.
And first and foremost, what we're going to do. But we are going to branch out a little bit. We're going to do a hockey show. Our good friend Chuck McCann, president of the New Jersey chapter of the Black Hole, is going to do a Raiders Booster Club show.
Wow.
Which is going to be really cool. We're looking forward to that. I've also kicked around some ideas of doing like an NFL roundtable. Gosh, we know so many people that are so fans of so many different teams. I thought it might be kind of fun to get, David Northrup, our drummer friend, to come in here and talk about the Steelers. Or, you know what I mean? I thought that might be kind of fun.
El Jefe to talk about the Titans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought that'd be a good time. So maybe we'll branch out into something like that. And then also, I've been talking a lot and corresponding a lot with Mikey Raider.
Mikey's great.
Of Raiders Central. Yeah, we love Mikey, love what he does. I've always been a fan of his.
He kills me. I don't know that I agree with him on everything, but he kills me. He just cracks me up, man. If you've never listened to him, you really need to check out Mikey. He's a riot.
His conspiracy theories are the best, right?
Oh, my gosh, he's killing me. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go on his show just as Uncle Mosh the debunker.
That's not a bad idea.
I know, right?
So I've been talking to Mikey a lot, and I think Mikey and I are going to collaborate on doing something as well. We're going to do it'll be his project. It's going to be his thing on his YouTube channel.
Sweet.
I'm going to kind of be the straight man. I'll be the Dean Martin to his Jerry Lewis.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? So, but I'm really looking forward to that. So anyway, but we'll feature the audio of that here on Murph's Fan Cave. We'll call it the Mikey Minute or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, so that's kind of the story behind all of it. So I hope we didn't confuse anybody by all this stuff. But
bottom line is we're still going to be here. We ain't going nowhere.
Ain't going anywhere. Your subscription won't change. It'll all come in on the same feed.
Right.
If you don't want to hear us talk about the Nashville Predators hockey, just delete the name thing. Like it'll be easy peasy. So, but definitely mostly Raider related content. But it might be a couple other things we'll branch out into. But all right, so that's it. So that's kind of the gist behind Murph's Fan Cave. All right, so here on Raiders Fan Radio this week, it is episode number 84, and we always like to name our shows after a player. So this week, Uncle Mosh, I'm choosing to name the show after Jerry Porter. And Jerry Porter, I know you got the. Hold on, let me transition the camera over there because you got the look on your face like, who, Jerry Porter?
In Italian, it's called a faccialunga. It's the long face.
So Uncle Mark's got the long face because I'm sure you're thinking about Art Powell. I'm sure you're thinking about other players that wore the number.
Actually, I can say that I haven't thought about Art Powell in years.
Since 1966 when he played for the Raiders?
1966, yeah.
66 was a good year. What were you doing in 1966?
I was waiting for my 8th birthday. I was working two full-time jobs, had 4 kids.
So number 84. So I picked Jerry Porter, and really just because of completely selfish reasons. That in 2004, I went to the Georgia Dome and saw the Raiders play the Falcons. And we had on-field passes. And so it was so cool. We got to go down onto the field for warm-ups. We were down there for the national anthem.
That's crazy.
My boss at the time, great guy, actually knew I was a big Raider fan, shared the tickets with us. We were club-level seats, so we're about midway up the lower bowl in the Georgia Dome on the 50-yard line.
Wow.
Like, if I was on the 49, my buddy Chad was on the 50. I mean, it was like, right there. Great seats, a lot of fun. And anyway, so while we were down there for warm-ups, I took a bunch of pictures. I got pictures of Norv Turner.
Nice.
I got pictures of Doug Jolly. I got pictures of Sebastian Janikowski, which was cool.
There you go.
And I got a fantastic shot of Jerry Porter, and it was really neat. As Jerry Porter's running up and down the sidelines, and which, by coincidence, 2004 was Jerry Porter's best year with the team.
Right.
He had almost 1,000 yards, caught like 10 touchdowns. Like, he had a great year with the team. So he's running down the sidelines, and he kept looking up over his shoulder. He's running and then look up, run and then look up. And I was like, what is he doing? That's an odd drill. He was checking the lights. He was looking to see where the lights how it would impact the flight of the ball. Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool. So anyways, Jerry Porter was kind of buried on the depth chart between under Timmy Brown and Jerry Rice, but just a great player. I think he got suspended after that, and it's kind of, like a lot of things with the Raiders, went downhill after Gruden left, right? But for a couple of years in there, Jerry Porter was a pretty awesome player, and I just had that firsthand account of him. So anyway, so we're gonna name this episode number 84 after Jerry Porter.
I gotta go here in response to Mikey.
Okay.
Oh. I got.
You're going Mikey on me
I'm
already?
going Mikey on you, Mikey, baby. This one's for you. Okay, so I know that we always pick a player, right? We always pick a player and we associate. But I got this whole NFL Illuminati thing working.
No. What are you going, 33 on me when I wasn't looking?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay,
so it's the whole numbers thing.
Okay,
so 1984.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened on January 22nd, 1984?
I sure do. The Raiders won their last Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Where?
Tampa.
Tampa Bay.
I see what you're doing.
Who ended up going to Tampa Bay?
Our coach, John Gruden.
John Gruden, right? But that's not where the Illuminati comes in.
Oh, no.
Who was the MVP?
Of that game?
Yep.
Derek Brooks?
Nope. Marcus Allen.
I thought you were talking about the Super Bowl in Tampa that we played against Tampa.
Yes,
Sorry, I
the
brain
Super Bowl in Tampa.
No, I went Gruden Super Bowl. Sorry, I brain farted
so
right there. Yes,
so let me go with this.
Yeah,
So
32. Yes, so Marcus Allen.
So here's where the numerology,
okay,
which is all tied in with the which is all tied in with the Illuminati.
Okay.
MVP, if you assign a number to a letter, okay, 13th letter of the alphabet is M.
Okay.
First letter of the alphabet is A. 26th letter of the alphabet is Z, right?
Okay, all right, I'm with you.
It goes.
Following.
So MVP would be 13, 22, 16.
Okay, hold on. Let me write this down as you're going. So
Okay.
13,
22, 16.
All right.
If you take 13 and minus it from 22, it leaves you with 9.
Right.
You take 9 and minus it from 16, that leaves you with a 7. The 7th letter of the alphabet is G for Gruden. Oh, I'm not done yet. And the MVP's numbers was Marcus Allen, number 32.
Yeah.
3 is C, 2 is B. That stands for Chucky's back. If it wasn't your mic, baby, I'd drop it. Come on, Mikey. Am I there? Can I get on the show?
Oh, my gosh. You are out of control, man.
Totally out of control, but I'm right.
This is what we miss here in the Dago Dungeon and Murph's Fan Cave when you're not here. Oh, my gosh.
Do the math. And I hate math.
Uncle Stretch. Yeah, you do. Uncle Stretch, they call you. Going for that one. That was
6.5 hours to do that.
well done, Mosh. Well done. All right, so Chucky's back, and, we're going to talk a lot about Chucky here.
Oh, we needed that audio. Chucky's in love.
I don't know if you should ever sing.
I never sing. I don't sing.
You don't sing and you don't throw up.
No.
And you don't normally have surgery until you had your appendicitis, and you had.
Yeah, and I was trying not to puke. April 26, 1984.
Right, let's go ahead and do that. Well, since we're off the rails early, let's stay out there. Hey, listen, Raider Nation, I promise you, we got a lot of Raider content to come to tonight. But Uncle Mosh, one of the reasons that you weren't on the show a couple weeks ago was that you had your appendix taken out.
I had my bit. I'll be 60.
And you've never had surgery, never broken a bone, never nothing.
Oh, I mean, I've had a few mishaps here and there, but, I went about 30 years ago, I went to the spay and neuter clinic, but we're not going to talk about that. I've never had, other than my tonsils out as a kid, I mean, I'm 60 years old, right? I'll be 60 in December, and I had a stomach ache. Okay, so let me tell you, I'm a big guy. I've been on a diet since 1973, okay? And I have a tendency to cheat. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to be on a diet since 1973.
Right.
So they make these, where I live here, they make these little donuts. And they're amazing. And they only serve them hot.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm driving by this place, and I'm on a diet, right? And I'm thinking, I'll just get one. Well, you can't just buy one little donut. They come in a heavy dozen, they call it.
Okay.
Right? So I get a box of the heavy dozen donuts, right?
Okay.
And
so that's like 14?
Yeah, 14.
So that's what? N?
For non-diet. Oh, my.
Uncle Mosh just crashed his camera.
I just crashed my cam.
Right.
Okay, I got it back up.
I got you. Go ahead, tell your story.
I'm good. So anyway, I buy these donuts, right? And of course, I didn't tell the surgeon or my wife this, but and she doesn't listen, and neither does the surgeon. So I'm good. I'm golden. I'm golden.
I won't rat you out.
Yeah. So I'm golden. So anyway, I go and I buy these donuts, right? And they go, oh, yeah, we know you. You teach over at the local school, blah, 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 blah. Here's a second heavy dozen.
Oh, no.
Share them. And I said, okay, no problem. Well, it's summer. There was no one to share with. And you can't let hot donuts get cold. So I ate them all. So I ate everything. I ate 28 donuts. Plus
28 donuts?
28 donuts plus the samples.
No wonder you ended up in the hospital.
That's what I was thinking. So I'm like, okay, so I get home that night, right?
You're out of control.
And I get home and I have my, my San Francisco 49er kale salad,
Yeah, because you're on a diet.
Because I'm on a diet.
And it's plant-based.
I'm going into my
Sugar's plant-based.
Exactly. I'm going into my 5th decade as a dieter, right? And I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I'm dieting, and I lay down, and I'm like, oh, man, I got the pangs, you know? I'm thinking, you know, I'm up, I'm doing the duck walk, you know, I'm all going, I'm thinking I'm gonna doo-doo, and, you know, and I'm having issues. And next thing I know, I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And I'm laying in the bed, and I'm telling the wife, I need a stool softener or laxative or something. I got to have something. She goes, is it on your right side? And I said, yes. And I'm thinking, well, I got guts over there, too, because I'm not really fat. I have thick skin, heavy bones, and a lot of blood, and a massive amount of intestines. So it's probably where the 26 donuts are. And I don't tell her that. And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, it's probably your appendix. I had my appendix out when I was 7. And I'm like, no, it's not my appendix. I'm 59 and a half years old, right? It's not my appendix. So I lay there. So all night long, I'm dying. I'm sitting in the chair. I took 27 hot baths. Prior to this, I hadn't taken 27 hot baths in my life. I couldn't get comfortable. I couldn't get comfortable anywhere. So finally, the next day I get up and I'm like, okay, I'm a teacher. I go on a fishing trip every year to the Ozarks.
Yes.
I go up to Mountain Home, Arkansas, and fish for trophy trout with my bros, and we stop at a casino on the way, and we stop at a casino on the way back. We plan this a year in advance. We've already got our reservations for next year. We're leaving Sunday. This is Friday morning. I go over and I pick up all my buddies' stuff, and I load it in the van because we're going to go like Sunday morning rants because we want to hit the casino early. We want to be there to gamble with the blue hairs.
Yeah, the blue hairs.
Yeah, the blue hairs. For those of you that don't know, that's old women whose hair is so white it's now blue, right? We want to gamble with them. So we're going to, on our way to fishing, and I pick up all my stuff, and I'm loading it all in the van. My buddy's going, hey, you don't look right. And I go, I got a pang right here. And he's like, still? And I go, yeah. And I told him about the 28 donuts, and he was pissed that I didn't give him any. But anyway, and I go, you know what? I think I'm going to go swing by the clinic and get a pill. So I go to the walk-in clinic, and the girl at the walk-in clinic goes, well, you will lay down right here. And I'm like, okay. So she starts pushing on the left side, and she does what they call a rebound test. So she jams her fingers about 4 knucks deep all the way into my guts and just pops her hand out. And I'm like, ah! I'm like coming off the stretcher there. And she goes, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you liked it.
It worked this time.
She goes, yeah. She goes, it worked. She goes, I've never seen that work before. She goes, it's a rebound test. If you put pressure on the opposite side where the pain is and you let it out fast, then and it causes pain on the side that's inflamed and hurting. She goes, that's a classic sign of appendicitis. And I'm like, whoa, I can't have an appendicitis. I'm 59 and a half years old. I'm going fishing in 2 days. She says, no, you got to go to the hospital. I said, I got to go to the hospital. She goes, yeah, I'll call the emergency room right now. And I said, what? So I said, okay. So I go to the emergency room. Sure enough. It's packed, like most emergency rooms are. They take me right to the back. Well, that's when I called you.
Yeah.
And I go, come on, I think this something's up,
Yeah.
And so, because it was just a year ago that your kid had the same thing.
Vinny, who was on the last episode here.
He was on the last episode, which, by the way, I got an issue with you.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we got to get the Raiders.
Okay, so let me get through this. Okay,
right,
so
go.
really quick. So bottom line is they come in, they give me a shot of morphine, they take me to the CAT scan. They blast me through the CAT scan, and I'm cracking jokes the whole time. You came in.
You were funny.
Yeah, you came in. You took a picture of me. We
you're wearing your Raider stuff. It was awesome.
I twitted.
You twitted.
I twitted from the hospital.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. And I kept the whole time. I kept going. It's not going to be appendicitis. It's not going to be appendicitis. I'm just clogged up, right? I'm just clogged up. It's no big deal, right? They go, oh, it's a classic case of appendicitis. It's swollen. It's inflamed. It's ready to explode. Yeah. And I'm making jokes. I got a really high pain threshold, So the guy goes, oh, no, that's got to come out now. Within 4 hours, I'm loopy as all get out, man. I'm naked. I'm laying there. They're shaving parts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they go in there and they knocked me out and they sucked my appendix out. That night, I wake up. It's about 11 o'clock. I'm in a room, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And I'm like, I don't okay. Just give me some more of that stuff, man. And everything was fine. By the next morning, They're sending me home less than 24 hours, $39,000 later. I got the bill today.
God.
$39,000 later. They sucked my appendix out, and they no scars. They go 3 little holes.
Laparoscopic, they call it.
Laparoscopic, so that I go
That's
for
what
my
Vinny did. Yep,
I go for my follow-up, and the guy goes, that was one of the largest, most inflamed appendix I've ever seen, and you were making jokes. You must have a really high pain threshold. And I go, yeah. I said, I don't go to doctors, you know.
Yeah.
Stuff goes away. Anyway.
That's the rule around here. If you're not bleeding above the neck.
If you're not bleeding above the neck, don't whine about it. You know?
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been on,
You've been on IR.
I've been on IR. And,
Yeah.
I've had weight restrictions and everything. I've had to eat my quarter pounders one at a time, and cut them in half. And
Cool, because you're on a diet, too.
because I'm still on my diet since 1970. I'm the only person you've ever seen that goes in for abdominal surgery and gains weight.
You've been on a diet since Art Powell played for the Raiders.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Out of control.
But anyway, but I'm back and I'm feeling much better. I'm still on weight restrictions, so I had to hire your son to tote things. We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. All right, so here we go. All right, so
Anyway, thanks for having me back.
hey, glad to welcome you back here. Oh my gosh, you're out of control. You cracked me up, man. All right, so let's go ahead and let's hit this contact here, and then we will come back. And listen, thanks for joining us here for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio. And now we officially start the clock and talk about the Raiders.
Hey, boys and girls, this is Uncle Mosh. That's right. Somebody actually claims Sonny and Murf. These two. Check them out on their website, RaidersFanRadio.com. You can friend them on Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio, or you can like their fan page at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Hey, I don't tweet. I don't even know how to use a Twitter. All right, I got the Twitter and the Facebook. But, it's just like that fancy lawnmower in my garage. I hire a kid to use it. Hey, nonetheless, keep up with us on Raiders Fan Radio and all those other things. I'm doing the best I can. Man. Call them. Leave a voicemail if you want. Go old school. 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Hey, do this. Please subscribe and rate Raiders Fan Radio on iTunes. You can listen to the show on all podcast services like Stitcher, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, and many, many more. Okay, am I done? Did I say all the stuff I was supposed to say? All right, I'm out of here.
Uncle Mosh, I got a theory.
Tell me.
I got a crazy, not quite the Illuminati level of you and Mikey Raider,
okay,
but I have a theory.
Are you listening, Mikey?
Khalil Mack has not signed yet for the Raiders, and it's the big story of the offseason for our team, at least one of them. Obviously, Gruden return is the biggest story.
Uh-huh.
But Khalil Mack not signing a new contract. The rumors are the Raiders have maybe offered him something. He's kind of waiting to see what the market's going to dictate. There's a lot of moving parts going on to the lack of activity and news and whatnot when it comes to Mack signing. Now, there's a lot of things that kind of fit into this, right? There's a lot of moving parts, as I mentioned. One of the main things, one of the main things that I feel and what everybody is really looking at and speculating is kind of holding up the process is that there is another player right now that does not have his new contract, and we're talking about Aaron Donald of the Rams. Aaron Donald is probably the best defensive tackle, certainly on the short list for defensive tackles in the league, best at his position. And Khalil Mack is arguably the best defensive end / outside linebacker at his position, right? So you have these two guys that are clearly dominant, clearly represent the absolute class of that position, and neither one of them have a contract. And it seems to me like it's kind of like who's going to go first, right? So one is going to certainly influence the other. And now that's not breaking news, but here's what I thought of today. Khalil Mack just got named this week as the 16th best player in the entirety of the NFL on the NFL Network's top 100 list. If you're not familiar with that list, the NFL Network gives all of the players in the league the opportunity to rank and pick who they think are the best players. Last year, Khalil Mack was number 5. This year he was number 16. So he was announced this week. So let's start there, and I'm gonna play you here in a minute. Khalil Mack's the segment of 16. In fact, I'll just play it right now.
Khalil is somebody who is obviously freakishly gifted. Talented, strong, fast, explosive, all of those things. There are a lot of people that have those qualities. He takes those things and he outworks everybody. He knows formations and tendencies and route concepts. You know, you get that from a middle linebacker like Kuechly and those guys. But to do it from a defensive end spot, he's calling out plays before they're even happening.
Coming back. Hey, sprint out.
He doesn't need to know those things, but he does. And when you get a guy that's that talented, has that kind of knack for the game, he's a walking Hall of Famer.
The 2016 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Raiders defensive end Khalil Mack, was almost as unstoppable in 2017.
And it was a Mack truck.
If he knows you're going to pass the ball, there's nobody in this league, no two guys in this league that can stop him at all. I mean, I've seen him throw a tight end off, run over a tackle, and then bring down the quarterback.
The Mack attack.
He's going to go around Shell and the chip block by Forte. That's incredible. Beating two guys.
He's got the unique power that you always have to be aware against. So a little more heavy-footed, but then there's the speed, so you have to be more light-footed, so it's kind of like pick your poison.
Max has such a great low center of gravity that when a tackle gets high on him trying to run backward, he always has the advantage.
Anytime you try to jump the guy, he's going to make you miss. One play they show a lot is the guy from Kansas City tackle. He gives him a little shake, the guy opens up his chest, tries to bare arm him, and just the long arm right into the back of the quarterback.
Look at Khalil Mack. He just pushed the former #1 pick, Eric Fisher, away.
And power, go down, son. I'm going to the quarterback. Oh, my goodness. How good is this guy?
He loves when people like to compare him. Oh, he's one of the best, those kind of things. He wants to be known as the best.
Hey, lay it all on the line today.
Isn't that awesome? The NFL does such a good NFL Films and NFL Network.
Gosh.
They do such a good job of that. Even just hearing the audio is fantastic. But anyway, so all right, so clearly Khalil Mack is, as I mentioned, he's the guy. All right, so now you got Aaron Donald as the other part of this puzzle. Aaron Donald hasn't been named yet to the NFL's top 100.
And you know, the NFL top 100, there's a lot of cred there because that's the players.
Yes.
There's some major cred that goes to that list.
Yes, absolutely. So you're not talking about fans like us.
Right,
that are
right,
like,
right.
Oh, he's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Or all the Raiders would be on the list.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got you're right. It's absolutely credible. And I think, so here's all that to say this. I think the agents are waiting to find out where these guys come out at because they can use that as leverage in a contract negotiation.
Absolutely.
If Aaron Donald, which now they're going to get into the top 10, so if Aaron Donald is named the 5th best player in the NFL, then does that give his agents leverage to ask for 5th best money versus Khalil Mack's 16th best money? Like I'm again, call me crazy, but it would make sense that something like that would happen. So, Raider Nation, I think that yes, it's crucial. Yes, it's important. Yes, we have to get him in and signed. But a couple things. I don't think we're missing much by not having him at OTAs. OTAs are just, you're talking about guys in shorts and T-shirts, man. Look, somebody like Khalil Mack's game is not going to be drastically improved because of his attendance at OTA. Would it help him get more familiar with the new system with Paul Gunther and whatnot? Absolutely. I think that there is merit and that's a fair argument. But outside of that, this isn't like a guy you're trying to develop, right? Like
exactly.
He's already the best player at his position, arguably one of the best players in the league, period. Not even arguably, he is.
And I promise you, Khalil Mack is not sitting around eating 24 mini donuts. He's working.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. He's working. Dude is working, you know? And, yeah, so you know, the funny thing, Murf, and I hate to cut you off on that,
no,
but
you're good.
We never really know what goes on in negotiations.
No.
You know?
We like to think we do,
we
though,
like
right?
to think we do, but is Khalil Mack saying, dude, get it done. I'm missing these OTAs. Is it the agents that these guys hire that are hanging things up? We don't know. But we've seen this before. We've seen it with other skilled positions. We've talked about quarterbacks. We've talked about running backs.
Derek Carr last year.
Well, yeah, this guy will be the highest paid quarterback ever. This guy will be even with Chucky, this guy will be the highest paid head coach ever. So we see this a lot. It's always trying to one up. So you're definitely on to something there, because if the one gets it, the next one's going to want to make $1,000 a year more.
Because Derek Carr was a highest paid quarterback for a week?
For a week.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it wasn't long.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't long before the next contract surpassed his. So that's definitely what we're going to see. So I think it's, look, the agents are doing their job. Like, they're going to – I'm sure if you asked Mac if he wanted to be of course the answer would be yes. But I think that look, this is his first big one. And I think as an NFL player, your first big contract, like, that's the one that's going to take care of you for life. I don't begrudge Khalil Mack sitting out, whether it's his own doing or the advisement of his agents or what. I don't begrudge him a bit. It's going to be the first big. You're not talking about a 35-year-old guy who, or did like what Donald Penn did when he got, I don't know how old Donald Penn was when he held out, but he wasn't happy with his current contract, felt like he outperformed his current contract, and then held the organization's feet to the fire to redo the existing contract.
Right, exactly.
That's not the same thing we're talking about here. We're talking about a guy that's been playing out a rookie contract, and now he's trying to get his first big payday, and probably going to be one that not only, as I mentioned, is going to take care of him and his family and be that generational wealth for him to, to enjoy for the rest of his life. But but this is going to set him up to be a Raider for a long time. So
sure.
So from a fan's perspective, don't rush it. You take your time, Reggie McKenzie. You take your time, Mr. Agent. You take your time, Khalil Mack. As long as we got you back by September, we're good. You know what I mean?
And short of a franchise title, the guys, like exactly what you said, the option of being a Raider for life, long term. Extended contract. There's so much going on that we don't know as fans.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So anyway, I think that's going to be an interesting follow here. We'll see the next week. The NFL Network will release their final top 10. We'll see where Aaron Donald comes out. And we'll see if there's any truth to my speculation on some of this stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to real quick. We want to get to some Sea of fans. I didn't even tell everybody what we're going to do on the show yet. I got so derailed.
All right. They'll stick around.
They'll stick around?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a good opener.
All right. We did have a good opener. All right. So
other than my singing, can we cut that out?
Yeah, we'll cut out the singing. So, but we're going to do we're going to play some audio from Gruden from OTAs. Then we're going to get into the Sea of fans mailbag, and then we're going to hit a return to excellence and, of course, our interview with Obi Melifonwu shortly to come. So next up, let's go to one last thing since we're on the topic of Gruden and OTAs, or at least is how it's related to Mac. Let's hear what John Gruden had to say about OTAs.
So here we are again, back together again. How have you changed as a coach in the last 10 years?
I don't think I've changed very much, Shelley. You got to wait until the games start to really truly see. But we've worked hard. We pushed the envelope just like we did before. We got a long way to go, but I still love football, love being around the guys, and can't wait to be back with the Raiders.
What has surprised you most about how different the game is now 10 years later?
Well, there's a lot more rules and technicalities in the way we practice, not as much contact with players. That was tough. You get the job, and it's about 60 days go by before you can officially talk to a player. And you got to make tough decisions on their contract status, and I don't like that, but you have to adapt. You've seen Bill Belichick, the Patriots, show that they can adapt regardless of the CBA, regardless of the rules. That's what I have to do.
All right. A lot of people never think that you and Derek Carr were going to get along, that his demeanor is too different from yours. But what have you seen in him that allows you to believe that he'll take out whatever you give him?
I don't know. What people are you talking about? Give me
some. Well, the people we work with.
Yeah, I don't know what would make them say that. I mean, if you know Derek.
Well, they think you're a tough, hard-hitting guy, and he's a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy,
okay,
Shelley. I mean, I'm not really. Derek Carr's a great guy. He's been coached hard. If you know Pat Hill at Fresno, you know the world this guy comes from. He wants to be coached hard. I think they want structure. They want discipline. I came back to coach Derek Carr. That's a big reason I'm here. He is more fun to be around than most guys I've been around. And I met him at Gruden's QB camp on ESPN.
I watched
with him then, and I enjoy coming in here. I can't wait to see him every day, and I hope I don't drive him crazy.
Well, that's a big if. You and I haven't gotten any younger, but these players are younger. How have you dealt with all the millennials?
I've got 3 sons the same age. I mean, I got a 24-year-old son, a 21, and an 18. So it's not like I'm blind to what's walking through the door every day. But
absolutely,
we're having a great time, and I'm in a different point in my life. I have a different perspective in some ways. I'm here to coach and have fun and try to restore the Raiders. We've had 1 winning season in 14 years. We got a long way to get this program back in gear, and so far so good. We have made progress.
What do you think, Uncle Mosh? I kind of like it, and he's a little feisty. Of course, him and Shelly Smith go back a ways, but I kind of like it, man. He's like, really, like who's saying all these bad things, right? Like,
yeah, give me a name.
Yeah, give me a name, exactly. Like, give me a source, right? Like, it's so funny. Like, people just think that he's like this fire-breathing maniac. Like, look, the guy's passionate. He's an emotional coach, and yes, he's what's the word I'm looking? Animated, right?
Sure.
But he's not irrational. He's not like, he's
not an ogre.
No, he's not gonna go in there and start screaming F-bombs at Derek Carr. Like, the whole idea that, and I feel like it's perpetuated a little bit by ESPN and some of the other outlets. Like, they want to like create the story a little bit, where it's like, come on, man. Just like the whole idea of like, oh, is the game passed him by? What? Like, that's such an easy narrative, right? Like, it's the path of least resistance on a lot of this stuff. It's like, let's just, like Coach said, let's wait till the games start getting played. That's when we'll know about all this stuff. But in the meantime, these guys are getting along. There was more pictures from OTAs that came out. I don't know if you saw the one. I'll throw it up here for you. I don't know if you could see it from here, Mosh. But look at Gruden. Look at Gruden jumped up in the air, and Derek Carr. I mean, these guys are having a dang blast.
And that's what he said. That's what's important to him. The couple things. I want to coach him. And I want to have fun. I want to restore the Raiders.
Absolutely. Amari Cooper smiled 6 times in his life, and one of them was right here at this picture of this OTAs last week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are all having a good time, man. It's just such a silly thing. Again, path of least resistance. I don't think there's anything to it. And, when we talk to Obi Melifonwu later in the show, he kind of touches on that. That, like, they're having a good time. Like, it's inspiring, So, anyways, I think it's much ado about nothing there when it comes to that stuff. All right, Mosh, let's go ahead and let's hit a break, and then we will come back and we will do our See a Fans mailbag.
Cool.
This is Pete Koch, former Raiders, Los Angeles Raiders, that is, defensive end, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio.
All right, Raider Nation, if you are one of our newer listeners, we always, not always, but a lot of times like to dip into what we call the Sea of Fans, a play on the term Sea of Hands, the famous Oakland Raiders win over the Miami Dolphins. So we call it the Sea of Fans. That's when you call into the show, 909-345-3346. You can leave us a message, tell us a story about the Raiders, something that you want to, your hot take, whatever it may be. And then we play them here on the show, and we talk about you. And so next up, let's go ahead and hit the Sea of Fans mailbag.
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's caught, he throws. It is.
Oh, he caught it.
Are you done screaming yet?
You always grimace whenever that cackle comes from that part of the. That was live audio from
so funny.
Me and Sonny and our buddy TJ out there in right field during an A's playoff game.
Why did you have that recording? Why'd you record that?
I just had a feeling that Cespedes was at the plate, and I just had a feeling he was going to hit a home run. And I had my phone out, and I wasn't watching my phone. I just had it holding over my head.
Right.
And sure enough, man, he jacked one out to center field while I had my phone out.
So you just hit record?
I just recording because the crowd was going bananas. The Oakland Coliseum was just rocking.
Rocking, huh?
Yeah, and so I pulled my phone out to just kind of get the ambiance of what was going on, and then all of a sudden the crack of the bat, man, and we look over and that thing goes flying out over center field, man, and we just lost our minds. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
I still hate it.
All right, let's go. Our first caller this week is a made man. So when here on Raiders Fan Radio, if you call the show and get your voicemail played 3 times, we call you a made man. And actually, I think we got 2. I think our second caller is a made man as well. It's been so long since we've done this.
I know, right?
Yeah. So I apologize for not getting to him sooner. But anyways, got some good ones tonight. We're going to start off with our buddy Ron in Ohio.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ron. A couple things. Love that Return to Excellence CD, but that does have me thinking. I looked it up. Gannon had 89 rushes that season. Just listening to it, how much he runs on that CD. You think this is the year they let Derek run a little bit more? They always talk about it, but it never seems to happen. I'm wondering if maybe they can use him in the red zone a little bit more as another threat. I think I looked 139 yards is the most rushing yards he's ever had in a season. So I'm going to go ahead and say maybe Gruden gets a little bit, maybe a couple hundred yards and a couple more touchdowns than he's ever had rushing. And the other thing was from OTAs. I think it was really telling how Gruden handled the linemen coming in 30 to 40 pounds overweight. I don't think that's such a huge deal, except that they were willing to call them out and say that they were doing absolutely nothing and eating whatever they wanted. But if the article I saw said that they kept them in the training room like over 3 hours of the 4 hours allotted, which is normally like 45 minutes that they allot for working out. So I thought that was really cool because it shows that Gruden is holding high standards. He's not going to let anybody on the field unless they're where they need to be, which is nice. So have a good day, guys. Hope everything's well.
There we go, Ron in Ohio, made man. We look forward to maybe catching up with Ron at the Cincinnati Bengals game this year as the Raiders pillage the jungle as we go to Cincinnati. So, Mosh, what do you think? Gruden holding some guys accountable, a couple other good points in there as well, but I think that was kind of his main focus of his call there was that Gruden's not letting anything slide, man. He's holding everybody to their own accounts.
I like what he said and the angle he took on it. He said these guys come in overweight, but then he keeps them in the training room longer. He's not trying to get them to cut weight. You want to come in if you're playing at 300 pounds and you come in at 340, okay? We want you big. We want big linemen. You want to come in at 340? Let's get you in the shape to play at 340.
Yeah.
So he alluded to that, but I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
You gotta be big to play the line. You gotta eat lots of mini donuts to play.
You gotta eat 28 donuts.
You gotta eat 28. No, it's always back to that. But seriously, if you're gonna come in toting that kind of weight, be able to play toting that kind of weight.
Absolutely.
And if it means putting in some extra time to be able to handle that, man, I'm all for it.
Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. All right, good call, Ron. Appreciate the call as always. Again, one of our made men here on Raiders Fan Radio. All right, next up, we're going to go to our buddy Diego in Georgia.
Hey, Murf. What's up, man? Hey, I know I've been called for a while. This is Diego. Raider Diego, whatever you want to call it, from Georgia. But I really, Sonny, I'm really missing Sonny. But it was cool to hear your sons, Vinny and Tristan, talking. And they were really funny. They were really awesome. You should have them on more often. And, but yeah, I'm just calling, say what's up. And I haven't called for a while. And, just want to give my opinion on just a few things. Nothing really crazy or anything like that. But, Martavius Bryant, I guess, nothing really happened and he's not in trouble and it's just a miscommunication, hopefully. Hopefully I didn't speak too soon. Mac, hope to get his deal done. But at the same time, I kind of felt like this was going to happen because the Raiders don't have money to spend. They really don't. You think these teams are, we all think these teams are like endless money supplies, endless money piles, but they're really not. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Who knows? But anyway, I wanted to say, Murf, you really do sound like Jimmy Mack from Rebel Force Radio. Like, you really do. It's a Star Wars podcast. You should listen to it because I know you like Star Wars. It's really cool. But aside from that, Cooper, he looks kind of fat. You know, he looks kind of buff, but he looks fat. But, you know, whatever. Gruden, I don't know. At this point, I really don't know how successful the Raiders are going to be. Like, I really just don't. It's giving me flashbacks to, like, Dennis Allen. New coach, you know. I know it's Gruden and it's different, but I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling. But anyway, see you later. Take it easy, guy. Bye.
All right, Diego, thank you for calling Raiders fan. He's great, man.
Diego kills me.
Gosh, so much to get to there. So a couple things. So Martavis Bryant, yeah, not suspended. That was another media-driven story. I mean, there was much ado about nothing there. So thankfully because that would have been some egg on Reggie McKenzie's face, right? If you'd have traded for him and the guy would have been suspended right away. That certainly would have not been a good look. The optics on that would have been bad, Uncle Mosh. That's my favorite new corporate term. The optics would have been
Was it
bad.
the Police that did the song Dirty Laundry?
No, that was Don Henley.
Don Henley, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Kick them when they're up, kick them when they're down.
Yeah, get the widow on. Is the head dead yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
So no story there with Martavis Bryant, thankfully. Okay, something that he touched on there about the Raiders being kind of strapped for cash. Reggie McKenzie's a really smart guy. I don't think that's breaking any news, but I think one of the things that we often overlook as fans, again, because in the media, when you look at what the Raiders have available to them, the reports vary and salary caps are very hard to figure out to try to put a hard number on what exactly is available to them. The Raiders have between $2.5 to like say $5 million in play, right, as far as salary cap. But what they don't tell you is that there are numerous contracts that can be restructured, including Derek Carr.
Sure.
There's tons of contracts that can be restructured, and then the way that the Raiders sit now, they could restructure, not lose one single player, but just purely from restructuring and free up like $50 million in cap space. And now that's not Murf numbers. That's stuff that I read from very reputable sources like RaidersSnakePit.com and people that are affiliated with the organization. The Raiders have a lot of wiggle room because they haven't done any dumb contracts. One of Al Davis's, I won't say downfalls, but one of the things that he struggled with later on in his career before he passed was that he would sign these guys to these big giant contracts with all his guaranteed money. And if the player didn't work out, then they were on the hook for all that dead money.
Right.
Well, and that dead money counts towards your cap space, whether the player's playing or not. So, but that's not what Reggie does. And when you look at the amount of dead money that the Raiders actually have in cap space, they're one of the lowest in the league. So, Diego, there's lots and lots of money out there for the Raiders to play with. They can move it around. It's not when they want to make something happen, they got the space to do it, and Absolutely. It has nothing to. And trust me, they got the capital to do it. It's they're in good shape when it comes to finances. Okay, so a couple more things. He talked about having the boys on last week. That was really cool. I had a lot of fun having my boys. A little bit of nepotism there, but it was Father's Day, and so we really enjoyed having them on. And I got to tell you, I was kind of expecting to get some crap. I was kind of expecting people to be like, "Oh man, this guy has his kids on the show." It was the complete opposite. Everybody has been incredibly complimentary and supportive, and feedback has been great on having the boys on. So I definitely appreciate those kind words. And then last, he said I sound like Jimmy Mack from Rebel Force Radio. Well, Diego, call me a diehard when it comes to Rebel Force Radio. That is one of my absolute go-to podcasts. In fact, I've traded emails with Jimmy Mack a few times, and Jason, the other host of the show, and it's no mystery why we're called Raiders Fan Radio. I try to steer away from the RFR thing because they kind of have a claim that, and I don't want to ever, infringe on what they do or rob any creativity that they have had, because their show is phenomenal. But there are definitely a lot of things that I do that they influence. Like, those guys are one of the best podcasters or podcasting duos there are. Jimmy Mack is an amazing audio guy. So I definitely take a lot of hints from those guys. So I don't want to, I'm not stealing anything here, but I definitely, just like you would as a musician, right, be influenced by your favorite band. Like, those guys are the best. So why would you not try to emulate them in some ways? And so I definitely do.
Yeah, it's like I'm in the entertainment business, so we always say if something works in a production, steal it. You know, no, basically because it does. If you see something that works, use it, man. It's it's awesome. There's no secrets in football.
Oh no, it's a copycat league.
It's a copycat league. It's the same kind of thing. So yeah, kudos to them and kudos to Diego for pointing that out.
He caught that. That's pretty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty
It's very astute.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, and all props to Jason and Jimmy Mack. Those guys, if again, it's a fan show. That's what we are. We're a fan show. They do it about Star Wars. We do it about the Raiders. Like, you know what I mean? And those guys are, they're next level. I mean, we're not on par with what they do, and I don't ever gonna pretend like we are, but we strive for it. We strive to be to that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But so the day that we get 100,000 downloads to an episode, that's when we'll be. And so we're a far cry from that.
Far cry.
You know what I mean?
That.
So those guys are definitely the upper echelon. But anyways, thanks again. And if it ever were to get back to those guys, I would hope that they would take the compliment well, because
imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Absolutely,
so.
huge fans of what they do. Yep.
It's funny you mentioned your boys.
Yeah.
Vincent and Tristan, but I don't call them Vincent and Tristan.
No,
they're
call them Vish and Trish.
Vish and Trish, and it's funny because Tristan, of course, is named after me, but Tristan's the one that coined the phrase "mosh."
Yeah.
And so that's a moniker that was a family name, and it's stuck, and so it's funny. Trish, he's a big strapping boy. I mean, he's just an awesome kid, 15 years old, and I took him with me. I had a gig in Atlanta. Speaking of Diego, and I work for Truth Entertainment, and they produce karate tournaments, and so the biggest one in the nation is the Battle of Atlanta, and it was its 50th anniversary. I've been working with them for about 6-7 years right now, and I had to go down there to run the show. I'm the basically I call the shots on their big production, but I needed somebody to tote my bags
because you can't lift
because I can't lift because I had an appendicitis, right? So I working with Extreme Lighting and Sound, the guys that ELS, the guys that put the show together, and I work hand in hand with them. It was a former student and his dad, and anyway, blah blah blah. Long story short, Trish got to come down there and work his first adult job. And, we put in...
Changed his life, literally, by the way.
Literally changed his life.
It was amazing, yeah.
We were working 20-hour days, and he was working with men. These guys are coming in, and they're union workers, and they were, he was setting up truss work, and he was putting in, like I said, 20-hour days, and I was telling him you got to catch a cat nap where you can, and it was a great experience. But by the end of the gig, we went from Wednesday then we left Sunday morning. I had the big shots calling him Trish. So here's this great big strapping 15-year-old stud of a kid who's like yes sir, no sir to everybody, and they're going, "Hey Trish, I need that over here. Hey Trish, I need this over here." So yeah. So Vish and Trish, the ones that saddled me with Mosh.
Nice. Well done. Well, yeah, thank you again for taking it, man. That was amazing.
It was my pleasure.
Good trip for him. So all right, Mosh. Well, that's all we had for the Seal fans. That's another podcast to come. Yeah, we'll be singing "Kiss from a Rose." The Seal fans.
There you go.
So Sea of Fans mailbag. So thank you to all of you that, both of you that we featured this week.
Yeah.
We'd love to feature your voicemails. Please call us at 909-345-3346. We can't always get to them all because, as you can tell, we have so many stories that we run long on these shows. But we definitely try to squeeze some of those in. So definitely appreciate you doing that, and keep calling and bringing those things in.
Nobody enjoyed a good Donnybrook more than sixth-year linebacker Phil Villapiano.
This is Phil Villapiano, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio.
Uncle Mosh, I'm stoked. This week, I got a chance to catch up with the Raiders' Obi Melifonwu, safety for the Oakland Raiders, number 56, drafted overall in the second round of not this past year, but the year prior's draft. Obi's one of those guys that, he's an athletically just gifted, I don't call him a freak, but he's freakishly talented. He's fast.
He's 6'4", 225 pounds, and he ran a 4.4 at the combine.
Okay, that's freaky, right?
Oh, my God. He had a 40 or 42-inch vertical leap.
I don't know.
It was,
you? Yeah. I don't remember.
It was somewhere in there.
Yeah?
It was. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What a stud.
He's a stud.
And he's smart.
And he's a smart guy.
Yeah. And we'll
get to that in the interview. Yeah. So anyway, Obi he really came out with a lot of expectation on him, and sadly he's battling the injury bug, like frankly a lot of young players do. And if you look at guys like in recent history, guys like Jadeveon Clowney that came out with a lot of fanfare. Heck, even our own team, Gary Conley, the guy that Obi was drafted alongside, battling injury. But it's just the rigors of the NFL, man. It's what happens. But so glad to see that he's finally on the healthy track. The reports out of camp have been fantastic. They're talking about him getting back to full speed and get full reps with the team upcoming for training camp. And so he's a player, frankly, that the Raiders are going to really need. We need someone that can cover tight ends. When you look at the tight ends in our division, Travis Kelce, when you look at Gronkowski's, right? There's a lot of good tight ends out there, a lot of big tight ends, and we need a big, strong, fast safety that can cover these guys, and that's what Obi's going to be. So we really need him, so I think that's why Raider Nation is so anxious to kind of see what he's going to be for this team. And so, anyways, so I was really excited to get a chance to talk to the guy. He's a lot of fun, and he's got a football camp coming up, and so definitely if you're in the Northeast, if you're in the Massachusetts area, it's in Lynn, Massachusetts, which I believe is not far outside of Boston. But you can contact Krista Stellato. It's KALLATO at gmail.com. No, KALLATO12 at gmail.com. You can contact Krista, and she can give you any information about the camp. But definitely, if you're in that area, check it out. Go get a chance to meet Obi firsthand, and send us pictures if you definitely if you do.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and get to that interview, Uncle Mosh, and let's get to our talk with Obi Melifonwu. All right, Uncle Mosh, what'd you think? Pretty fun, huh?
So what do you think jumped out at me? What do you think out of that interview jumped out that Uncle Mosh made notes? Because unfortunately I wasn't able to be here for the interview.
Right.
I was working. But what do you think jumped out that Obi said, other than, oh, we're all buying in? We're all buying in. Everybody, his praise for Gruden's staff was outstanding. Yes. And I mean, as a coach, I'm like, yeah, give it for the coaches. That's not it. That wasn't what it was.
I know where you're going. And you're a coach, but you're also a theater guy.
Right.
So costumes are a big deal to you.
That's huge.
So either his sewing or his baking, because you love donuts 28 times.
Absolutely the baking. The guy's a cook. He's a chef.
Yeah.
He bakes.
Yeah,
I love
he's like
this
a Renaissance
guy.
man.
I love it. He plays the piano.
I know. That's at first because Vinny, my son, is a big piano player and singer, and I was going to go that, and then all of a sudden he dropped sewing and these other things on me. I'm like, what the heck?
I love this guy.
Yeah, he does everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. And thank goodness he didn't say his favorite sport growing up was soccer. I love him.
Yeah, yeah, I know. What's soccer?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great interview. What a super guy. What a great interview. A lot of good stuff there. I really, seriously, and all kidding aside, but what his praises for the coaches was amazing.
Yeah.
And I know Diego said earlier on, like everybody, I'm not so sure about Gruden. Man, when you got the players buying into your way of thinking and your staff that you brought in, and every single person has talked ad nauseum about how well that they're in addition to getting along, but how well they're learning from these guys and how much they're taking away from the stuff that the coaches are bringing to the field. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
I know. Me too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to hear a firsthand account like that because, again, we as fans, I mean, we read articles and we see
Sure.
whatever's put out there. And so you hear these things about OTAs, but we heard it from the guy that was participating in OTAs. So guess what? I'm going to believe him way more than I'm going to believe any. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We just heard it. And he's got no reason to misdirect us. You know what I mean?
No.
So I thought it was awesome. I thought it was, it's, with the players, you never really get like a really lengthy interview with them. You don't get them for big blocks of time, like some of the other interviews that we've done. But so you try to glean as much of it as you can in a short period of time. And my takeaway from that was, not only was OTAs a success as of right now in relation to the coaching staff, but also he's a good dude. Like I in the beginning of the interview, Mosh, you can tell the connection quality is not very good. That's because we had a bad connection, and eventually the call dropped. Obi called us right back, and now I edited the interview together so it didn't have the space in between and me going, oh no, we lost the call. So you can't really tell, but the reason that the audio quality in the beginning of that is bad is because we had a bad connection. Players don't just call you right back.
No, and players don't call on time, and he called exactly when he said he was going to be.
Yes.
They don't have to do that.
Yeah,
you know that the amount of people that want to get access to these guys and to grant access to a goofy little podcast somewhere in the middle of Podunk, Tennessee. Come on, man.
It's pretty cool.
That was awesome.
It was pretty cool. So
very cool.
I thought it was a good testament to his character. Plus, he didn't take himself too seriously. We had a good time with the spelling contest.
Yeah. And as I said, he's smart. He can spell.
Yeah, he spelled all his
a whole lot
teammates'
better than I
names.
could.
Yeah, he spelled Giorgio Tavecchio, Uncle Mosh.
No. I can give it to you numerologically. Numerologically. Yeah. Mikey, help me out here.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, good show. All right, so there's our interview with Obi Melifonwu this week. I hope you guys got as big of a kick out of that as I did. We certainly had a good time catching up with him. And Uncle Mosh, we got some more player interviews on the way.
Oh.
We got some more on the way.
Don't tell him.
No, we got to tell him. I will tell you this, though. We do have another interview. I did do an extra interview this week. We're going to probably play it on next week's show. We had Len Shapiro, who is the executive director of the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. I got a good chance to talk to him, had a nice long interview with him, and we talked a lot about Bill King. We talked a lot about Greg Papa, talked a lot about the lineage and the history of Oakland Raiders broadcasting. It was really, really cool. Some other topics more about broadcasting in the Bay Area as a whole, but definitely on the Raiders history of it. It was fascinating. Guys, just amazingly knowledgeable, can pull out call letters and names off the top of his head, and just had a really good interview with Len. So we'll get to that next week. All right, so one last thing, Mosh, we want to get to today before we get out of here, and we are going to go back into the CD, Return to Excellence, the audio CD, the audio documentary from the year 2000 when the Raiders first returned to greatness. This week we are on track number 8. We're a little over halfway through this thing, and thankfully the timing is going to work out perfect. We'll be right up against training camp by the time we get done. And so this week we have the Charger, Lightning, and Rain. How about rookie Sebastian Janikowski featured on that one, Uncle Mosh?
Yeah. And I love Gruden saying that he was responsible for winning kicks in 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was cool.
That was very cool. It's cool to go back and hear that. We featured some audio of Gruden early in the show from now, and then you go back and you hear him from 18 years ago. Same guy.
It could have been 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah, same guy. Hasn't changed.
And he was talking to Shelley.
Really? Who's your source of Shelley? Yeah.
Give me some names.
Give me some names, Shelley. All right, Uncle Mosh. Well, listen. Let's. I guess we're kind of right up against the end of it. We said we were going to go an hour, and we went about an hour and a half. That's what's kind of how these things go. So. We got so much talk about the Raiders and appendixes and kids, and it's just crazy.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing too. I want to mention The End Zone, our friend Kevin the Raider Nerd, he does that really cool podcast, and I joined those guys over there. The next episode of The End Zone will feature me on there, so I'll be on there. And of course, we kind of took over and talked a disproportionate amount about the Oakland Raiders.
Nice.
Kind of hijacked the show a little bit, Kevin and I did, so that was cool.
Hey, don't forget, tell them I got a few shirts left.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, yeah. So Raiders Fan Radio T-shirts are available on our website. You can go to RaidersFanRadio.com, click the T-shirt tab. They're $11. By the time we ship them and charge you tax, it's less than $20. Go get a Raiders Fan Radio T-shirt. Part of the rebranding, we're going to have some new logos and some new things out there. So these first-run shirts that we have, that we had made up before the Week 1 event here in Tennessee for the Titans game, those things, once they're gone, they're gone. We're not making any more. So if you want one, certainly go out and get them. I love the pictures that you guys send in.
Yeah.
I love the picture. Jay Morse. Jay, our buddy from the Salt City Silver and Black, sent a picture of him wearing his Raiders Fan Radio T-shirt this week, and we've gotten tons of others. We've gotten our buddy Max down there in San Diego, Kevin the Raider Nerd, Ted Wynn of The Athletic, Emiliano Big Raider Trucker. Like there's a bunch of you that have sent in pictures of wearing your Raiders Fan Radio T-shirt. Those are awesome. We get such a big kick out of that. So please keep those coming as you buy the T-shirts. But there's only just a handful of them left.
A handful
right?
left. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of them, and start getting some new ones ordered in.
We'll get some new ones. Maybe we'll get some Uncle Mosh shirts and some Murf's Fan Cave shirts. That'd be cool.
I need that.
That would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool when we do do a live remote, like to be repping our own, like our own, or what do you call that? Your face. What is that?
Your portrait?
Your facade. Your own portrait? Is that it? Or your own?
But I got a little bit of an issue with my my meme. What is that? What is it?
That's what I'm saying.
My logo. How come there's no hair on it? I'm the only one in the family with a hair. I gotta have a little hair on the dome.
I'll have to redo the Uncle Mosh logo. Get some hair on there. You can see it right there on the YouTube feed. Right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Hey. Oh, I gotta tell you this joke I heard. Okay, so this guy goes into the doctor, okay? And the doctor says, "What's wrong with you?" And he goes, "Doctor, I've been really gifted down there." And he goes, "What do you mean you've been gifted down there?" And he goes, "I've been gifted. I got twice as many as I should have." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, you definitely could go to first with those 4, right? 4 balls?"
Yeah.
So he goes, "We need to take care of that." And he goes, "Yeah, because I feel that's what's making my voice this way." And he goes, "Okay, we'll get that taken care of." So the guy has a surgery, comes back in to see the doctor for his follow-up. And he says, "Doc, I feel great." He goes, "My voice is back to normal. I feel excellent. How am I doing?" And the doctor goes, "Well."
You're stupid. That was a dad joke.
That was a dad joke.
That's a thing.
I think
now.
I kind of messed it up, too, because it's supposed to say, I should tell it over again.
No, please don't.
No, because he's supposed to say, Doc, I came to find out what you did with the 2 that you took. And the doctor says, "Well," that's the joke.
Everybody got it.
Oh, and it's not as funny when you have to repeat it, huh? What is the percentage of Raiders talk you think we did on this episode of Raiders Fan Radio?
About 6 minutes.
About 6 minutes worth of Raiders Fan Radio. Oh, my goodness. And Obi Melifonwu is now attached to our goofiness.
Oh, my God.
We'll edit this stuff out.
Well, big shout out to our 7 fans, the ones that are still listening.
No, the other ones are still with us on the feed.
Not true, though.
Not true. All right, let's get out of here. Uncle Mosh, you got anything else before we bail out?
Man, just excited to be back. Sonny had he was going to join us tonight. Had another engagement. Couldn't get out of it. Family thing, and we understand that totally. But he'll be back with us here before long, and we'll bring back Vish and Trish. And I'm just looking forward to the upcoming season as always, and another good soiree into the darkness of
nice.
Soiree into Murf's Fan Cave.
Sweet, and you're going to join us quite a bit this year.
I'm going to be here a lot. I've freed up some things in my schedule, and some we might have some weird dynamic on when we drop the show and all that.
It'll change once the season starts. We'll change because we won't go. Like right now, we're dropping them on Monday mornings. We won't drop Monday morning or Sunday night.
Yeah.
We won't do that once the season starts because we got football to be watching.
Right, exactly.
You know, so the show will probably release on like a Wednesday.
Thursday, something like
we'll
that.
shift definitely back to our regular season hours. That's certainly upcoming, but Uncle Mosh will definitely be a fixture here in Murph's Fan Cave and here as a regular on Raiders Fan Radio. So we're going to look forward to that, look forward to the season. And, man, that's all I got. Let's get out of here.
All right.
909-345-3346. Hit us at RaidersFanRadio.com. You can email us, Murf at RaidersFanRadio.com, show at RaidersFanRadio.com, Uncle Mosh at RaidersFanRadio.com, Uncle _Mosh on Twitter, _Murf on Twitter. Look for us on Facebook. Just Google Raiders Fan Radio, and you will find us. And we thank you, as always, for paying attention to us and joining us in here in the Fan Cave for another fantastic episode of the show. Thanks. Go Raiders for life.
Fans. Am I still on?
You're still on. Give us a tagline, Uncle Mosh.
Fans, light or dark, in it to win it.
Oh, that was good.